Hi there, this is Andrea and this is the question of the week. And it comes from Laura. She says, I am a 47-year-old woman with several food allergies and diagnosed Hashimoto's. I've begun adjusting my diet much according to your recommendations, but one of the things I found extremely difficult to work through is my dependence on grains. I used to eat bread and baked products, pasta, crackers, rice, and all sorts of floury stuffs. I was hoping that gluten-free products would be better, but they are still made with grains, so sometimes I just can't find anything to eat. Can you suggest some substitutions? Thank you, Laura, for asking this question. This is really useful because a lot of the women that I work with really are going through the same transition. So this is going to help many people. The first thing that I want to say to that is that in doing this sort of change, you need to keep accountability in one hand and patience in the other. This kind of change takes time, and not only it really just takes time to your body to adjust to the change. So again, accountability and patience go together here. The second thing is that a really useful mindset shift that you can do is, instead of focusing on the stuff that you can't eat, which makes you feel deprived and frustrated, I want to invite you to start focusing on the foods that you can eat that make you feel more like something, stuff that's new for you probably, and it's a much more positive and constructive way to look at things. The next thing is that your body is going to feel a void because you're used to burning carbohydrates at a very fast rate because of the amount and the kind of carbohydrates that you're eating. So through the transition, you're probably going to feel hungrier, and that's normal. And the way to adjust to that is, you need to be paying attention to when you're feeling hungry. You need to be having foods on hand. And one thing that's going to help a lot is to increase your consumption of fat, because fat gives you satiety. Now, finally, onto the substitution suggestions. The first sort of big group of foods where you're going to find really good carbohydrates is the starchy vegetables. However, because you have Hashimoto's, and Hashimoto's is an autoimmune disorder, it would be really good if you experience with avoiding the foods on the nightshade family for a period of time. This has made the difference for a lot of people. So those would be eggplants, tomatoes, potatoes, and all sorts of peppers, including chiles. So potatoes would not be one vegetable that I would suggest for you, but any other starchy vegetable, any sort of winter squash of any kind, and any tuber like parsnip, turnips, carrots, beets, all of these have the nice kind of carbohydrates that you want to have. A couple of vegetables that are very used to substitute grains in different recipes are cauliflower. You can find lots of recipes that use cauliflower to make rice or to make dough for pasta, for example, and spaghetti squash, which is used instead of spaghetti, and it really works very well. About fruit, you probably want to stay away from tropical fruits because they are very high in sugar, and go more for things like berries, especially berries, and perhaps things like, stone fruits and apples and pears. Those would be good, though I don't know if you have, how's your blood sugar behaving. So that's something to keep in mind as well, if you really want to bring your blood sugar back on track. So yeah, those would be, you need to find recipes, and you need to you just need to do that mindset shift. And something else that I find really useful is learning to eat nuts, or eat more nuts, and use them in cooking. So again, just keep them in hand, learn to use them in cooking, and carry them with you, because nuts are extremely whole foods. They have protein, carbohydrates, and fat, so they're really useful and really delicious. So anyway, the starchy vegetables, some sorts of fruits, and nuts can make the difference for you, and can at least start you on this process. Thanks again, and I will see you next week.